Every time you unlock your phone, you are using mathematics that began in ancient India. The man behind it was Aryabhata, one of history's greatest mathematicians. Today, he is largely forgotten. You will not find his name in most textbooks. You will not hear it in Silicon Valley. The numbers your phone runs on, we call them Arabic numerals. But they did not come from Arabia. The scholars who carried these ideas west knew their true origin. They called them Al-Hisab al-Hindi, Indian arithmetic. So how did that truth disappear? Aryabhata was born into a civilization where mathematics and astronomy were already advancing. In the year 476, the Western Roman Empire collapses. Across much of Europe, institutions of learning begin to break down. Classical knowledge is lost, scattered, or preserved in isolated monasteries. Scientific progress slows. In India, scholars continue to calculate, observe, and refine mathematical ideas. Aryabhata worked at the center of this tradition. At 23, he wrote a book called the Aryabhatiya. It presented new methods in mathematics and precise models of the cosmos. He described the rotation of the Earth. He calculated the value of pi. He developed techniques that would later influence mathematics across Asia and the Islamic world. This was not isolated work. It was part of a system of knowledge that continued to grow while others declined. Aryabhata was born in the year 476, during the height of the Gupta Empire. Historians call this period the Golden Age of India. He lived and worked in Kusumapura, modern-day Patna, in Bihar. By his mid-20s, he was already heading a major scholarly institution. In his book, the Aryabhatiya, 121 verses written in Sanskrit. The ideas were so compressed that scholars spent centuries writing commentaries to interpret it. That level of density was deliberate. Every verse contained more than it appeared to. Aryabhata was not just solving problems. He was building a complete system. Mathematical, astronomical, from the ground up. To understand what Aryabhata built, you need to understand the problem. Before the Indian number system, mathematics was limited by the way numbers were written. Take the Romans. To write the number 1888, 18 characters to represent 4 digits. Now try to calculate an eclipse, track planetary motion, build astronomical tables that can be reused and verified. The system does not scale. It breaks under complexity. Aryabhata worked within a long-standing Indian mathematical tradition. But his work helped crystallize a system that would change how numbers are represented. A positional decimal system. The value of a digit depends on its place. The 3 in 300 is not the same as the 3 in 30. Today, this feels obvious. It is not. It had to be developed. It is one of the most consequential ideas in the history of mathematics. In Sanskrit, the word for zero is Śūnya. It does not simply mean nothing. It means emptiness, a defined absence. This idea existed in Indian philosophy long before it appeared in mathematics. In Buddhist thought, Śūnyata describes the absence of fixed, permanent existence. In the Upanishads, emptiness is not separate from reality. It is part of it. Indian intellectual traditions were already familiar with the idea of nothingness. That familiarity mattered. At some point, mathematicians began to treat absence as something that could be represented. A placeholder, a value, a number. This made positional mathematics possible. Aryabhata worked within this intellectual environment. His work helped advance mathematical ideas that would later include what we now call zero. The concept did not emerge by accident. It emerged from a system of thought that had already made room for nothing. There is a manuscript, written on birch bark, fragile, aged. Inside it, a small dot. That dot is the oldest written zero ever found. It is called the Bakhshali Manuscript, discovered in 1881 in a field near Peshawar, in what is now Pakistan. In 1902, a British scholar acquired it and transferred it to Oxford University, where it has remained ever since. In 2017, Oxford conducted radiocarbon dating. some sections dated to the 3rd or 4th century. That would make this dot, this small mark on birch bark, one of the oldest zeros ever recorded. The origin, India. The location, Oxford. Back to Aryabhata, year 499. Here is what he established. He calculated the value of pi accurate to 4 decimal places. That calculation is still accurate today. He calculated the length of the year. He was off by 3 minutes and 20 seconds. He constructed one of the earliest systematic sign tables. This became a foundation for astronomy, navigation, and engineering. The word sign has its origin in the Sanskrit term jya. It passed from Sanskrit into Arabic and from Arabic into Latin. By the time it entered European mathematics, its origin was no longer visible. But it remained embedded in the language. His work did not disappear. In the year 1073, Omar Khayyam was asked to build a new calendar. He used methods of solar calculation that traced back to Indian mathematics, to Aryabhata. The calendar he built, the Jalali calendar, is still in use today. In the year 499, the dominant belief was clear. The earth does not move. It is fixed. The sky moves around it. Every major civilization agreed. Greece, China, the Middle East. Aryabhata examined the same sky. He reached a different conclusion. The earth rotates? He explained it with an analogy. A person on a moving boat sees the shore moving backward. The stars appear to move for the same reason. The earth is rotating, not the sky. He did not leave it as an idea. He calculated it. 23 hours 56 minutes and 4.1 seconds. The modern value differs by less than a tenth of a second. A mind like this was not universally accepted in his time. Brahmagupta, a leading mathematician who came after him, criticized Aryabhata's conclusions. He rejected the idea of a rotating earth. He opposed Aryabhata's geometric explanation of eclipses. Many scholars aligned with Brahmagupta. Aryabhata's work did not become immediate consensus. But he did not revise his conclusions to match prevailing views. His calculations remained consistent. Over time, his methods and results proved reliable. His ideas continued to circulate in India and beyond. But attribution did not always follow. The mathematics spread, the name did not. In the late 8th century, the Aryabhatiya was translated into Arabic. Around the year 820, Al-Khwarizmi, working in Baghdad, wrote a major text on arithmetic. He titled it, On the Calculation with Hindu Numerals. Al-Kindi, writing shortly after, used the same term, Hindu numerals. The origin was clearly stated. Indian mathematical ideas moved westward through trade, scholarship, and translation. They were studied, adapted, and extended. By the time they reached medieval Europe, their origins were no longer consistently preserved. The numbers became known as Arabic. Al-Khwarizmi's name, Latinized as algorithmi, became the word algorithm. He is recognized for transmitting this knowledge. But he was not its starting point. The foundation was Indian mathematics. It included Aryabhata. That part did not survive the journey. In the year 1765, the French astronomer Guillaume Le Gentil traveled to India to observe a lunar eclipse. He brought the best European charts available. The European prediction was off by 68 seconds. The Indian method, over 1,000 years old, was off by 41 seconds. The tradition still held. Today, the positional number system developed in India underlies modern science and computation. Every calculation, every navigation system, every digital device. In the year 1975, India named its first satellite Aryabhata. A crater on the moon carries his name. A species of bacteria discovered in Earth's stratosphere bears his name. But the most enduring result is not a monument. It is a system, a way of representing numbers that made modern mathematics possible. History remembers discoveries. It does not always remember the people behind them. Every time you open a calculator, every satellite in orbit, every line of code ever written, that foundation was laid in Bihar. 15 centuries ago. He recorded what he found. He did not adjust his conclusions to fit prevailing beliefs. The knowledge crossed every border. The name did not follow. So the next time you type a number, remember where it came from. This is the third story on this channel. Moringa, knowledge carried elsewhere without attribution. Nalanda, a center of learning destroyed, its ideas dispersed across the world. Aryabhata, his work shaped the way numbers are understood. The pattern is consistent. Knowledge travels, attribution does not always follow. This is what this channel documents. If this is the history you want to understand, subscribe. If something in this story stood out, leave a comment. We continue next week.